Well, hello family. It is so good to talk to you guys today. For those of you who don't know me, I am Chelsea. I am part of a team of two people, me and my husband, who travel around and review different all-inclusive resorts in Mexico specifically, and then the kind of surrounding islands as we have coming up. But with that being said, as a traveler to Mexico regularly, there's a lot of things that we get asked on the channel that are kind of not basic knowledge if you've never been to Cancun before. So I want to go over some of the basics of Cancun specifically with you so that you can be a little more prepared going to Mexico, and I have a few suggestions on how you can save money in different areas. So with that being said, let's get to it. So everything is literally just my raw judgment on what I've experienced. So we've traveled with Spirit, Delta, Mexican Airline, American Airlines, Frontier. There's been a lot. I've kind of learned to stick with American Airlines, and let me explain why. This may or may not fit you, and it kind of depends on your luggage. So what I like about American Airlines is we take 2 carry-on bags, 1 personal item, which is my purse, and then we take about a 50-pound check-in bag. So it costs $50 for the check-in bag, but the 2 carry-ons are free. When traveling with Frontier, I would say overall be sure to check the website so you know exactly what you're paying for before you get there. When traveling with Frontier and Spirit, we had to pay for our, I believe it was Spirit Airlines made us pay for both checked bags, and it was $67 a piece the last time we did it. And then on top of that, our bag being overweight, we ended up spending about $200 and something on bag fees. So overall, the price ended up being more expensive with Spirit Airline, and it was the same with Frontier. So it ended up being more for us because of our baggage situation. So we prefer American Airlines. Another benefit to American is they give you a complimentary drink and snack. With Frontier and Spirit, they charge you for those things, so you don't get any water, any drinks, any snacks the whole time you're there. One good thing about Frontier and Spirit is that they do have liquor on their airline. They do not have that on American Airlines. So if you're trying to get drunk on the plane, probably want to go that way. I personally usually just wait till I get to Mexico, but that's just my style. Shots with Frontier and with Spirit are $9 a piece, so for a single, it's $9 a pop. So that's something to take note of. So once you get to Mexico, one of the things a lot of people ask about is how to get to your resort. There's 2 ways we travel. The first one is we were using USA transfers for a long time. I've heard this from multiple sources that the transfers are safer than the taxis, and they're cheaper always. So we use USA transfers if we're getting a private ride. Another option you can do is Amstar. Amstar has 3 options. They have different kinds of shuttles, and then they've got private rides. So the private rides are about 3 times more expensive than a shared shuttle. But if you do the shared shuttle, you have to wait for everyone to climb aboard, and then you're gonna have to drop everyone off. So it's kind of a question of what means more to you between money and time. It's not a very long delay on you arriving to your resort, but it is some delay. So that's something to keep in mind. So now that you're at your resort, a lot of people wanna know, how do you travel around? You always have the taxi option. I prefer to ride the bus. If I'm on the Cancun Strip, there is buses that run 24/7 going both directions. It costs $1 to ride the bus either way. So I take $2 per person to get there and to come back. So one thing to take note of with the bus, they move quickly. So when you see the bus coming for you, move on fast. Hand them $1, go sit down. If you are getting off, you want to move swiftly again. I am a little clumsy, so I stay extra focused when I'm traveling on the bus. I really do enjoy the bus rides though. I think they're kind of fun. That's just me. Taxis are always an option for transportation. Taxis are available pretty much anywhere. You just flag them down. They are the most expensive option for transportation, so I don't personally use them, but there's lots of people that do like there's lots of people that do like the taxis. A lot of people ask us about if you need to transport your money from US dollars to pesos. You really don't. They take US dollars all along the Cancun Strip. They take them as tips at the resorts. There's almost nothing you'll do that you'll need pesos for. And if you do need them, at almost all grocery stores, they have a way to transition that from US dollars to pesos. But I think out of all the times we've been to Cancun, which is numerous, we've only had to do that one time, and it was in Merida. So it was 3 hours inland. That's kind of why we needed the pesos. So I would say just stay with the US dollars. Whatever amount of money you think you're gonna need for excursions and for tipping and all that kind of stuff, probably add some extra money, because it just seems like you end up spending more than you expect to spend. It's just a thing. And what you don't want to do is have to use an ATM at a resort, because they are very expensive. And when I mean very expensive, I mean about $30 for pulling money in most cases. So you really want to have enough money, because otherwise you're just going to end up spending more than you would have if you just brought the cash with you. Let's talk about tipping. This is incredibly important to me. In Mexico, the people who work at the resorts are definitely underpaid. And so I tip at pretty much everything. When I get a taxi or a shuttle, I always get a shuttle, but anyways, when I get a shuttle, I'm gonna pay $5 to $10 extra on the Cancun Strip coming from the airport than what they were actually charging me. If I'm tipping a bartender for 2 drinks, mine and Jimmy's, I'm going to give him $1 every time I get 2 drinks. If I'm going to eat at a restaurant, I'm gonna tip between $2 and $3. This is just my way of tipping. Tipping is not a requirement, but I highly advise it. And I'm sure there are people that tip more than me and people that tip less than me. I've always had a good experience tipping at the rate I do, and people are always very appreciative. So I'm guessing it's a pretty good middle ground. One thing to know about the beach is drugs are very common. So the cartel is kind of in Mexico. If you didn't already know that, that is definitely a thing. So a lot of the cigar salesmen on the beach and some of the other salesmen on the beach usually have a plethora of drugs on them. I would advise maybe don't buy drugs from strangers, but that is definitely a thing. We've even been offered drugs in the flea market. So you will definitely run into that. Some people find it annoying. Some people find it helpful. Again, I'd say maybe don't, but you're an adult. You do what you're gonna do. You know, it is what it is.
Don't forget when you're in Cancun to stay hydrated. You gotta stay up.
Water quality is definitely something we get asked about a lot. One of the things you should know is when you're at an all-inclusive and they have a pitcher, that's gonna be filtered water for you. I personally usually just drink the bottled waters. You can find them at any of the bars, and you can find them in your room. They always stock a few for you. You can even call room service and request more. I usually just drink those bottled waters, and especially in Mexico, where most people are drinking kind of heavily on the liquor side, it is so important to stay hydrated. Let's talk about food poisoning. This is not common, but I can tell you the 2 tips to avoid food poisoning at any all-inclusive resort. The worst thing you can do is, I would say the number one concern for me is late night room service. If it's in a peak time, anytime before, like let's say midnight, there's lots of people ordering through and it's moving along, but it is definitely a concern that if the food's been sitting for a while, you could get food poisoning. Another thing would be buffet food, because it does sit out, and at most resorts, there's so much of it, it doesn't move through very fast. So I would say avoiding buffets would probably be ideal if they didn't just open. We do still eat buffets sometimes, but to be honest with you, we have gotten food poisoning once or twice. And the last topic is going to be COVID testing. So COVID testing is very simple at all-inclusives. Basically, usually when you check in, they're going to already tell you where to go and how to do it. On average, it usually costs $30 to get it done if it's not already included in your stay, which for most resorts, it is included if you stay more than 2 nights. So something to keep note of. It usually takes about 10 minutes from start to finish. You usually book an appointment and then you go in for your appointment. They're gonna just swab your nose, done. Be sure to check your country's restrictions on when exactly you're supposed to get your COVID test done so that the timeline is right. I've literally seen people stopped at the airport that couldn't travel back to the US because they neglected to get their COVID test. You do not want to be that guy. Turn up, stay up. I know I tried to tell you, that's why I was like, we gotta get a pan of this shit. And you were like, what? Oh my god, look at all the trees lit up. Okay. Wow, what the hell? So because we do travel to Cancun so often, we actually have a discount with the AMR resorts. AMR owns Breathless, Dreams, Secrets, and Zoetry. So if you're looking to travel with one of those, be sure to reach out to us. These are the things that I need to book you. There's 2 restrictions. The first one is you have to be over 26 to get the discount, and if you're married, your spouse has to go with you. Now, if you do line out with that, we get you the discount by sending your name, your email, your telephone number, the dates you're traveling, and the resort you want to book. Once you do that, you just send it over to thewafflesfam@gmail.com and we will get you set up. It saves you hundreds of dollars on your stay, and all those resorts are incredibly highly rated. So we've reviewed many of them on our channel. If you want to check out those reviews, we've got a playlist that's specific to Cancun. So you can check out some of the ones that we've reviewed and see which one fits you best. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this information, please throw down a like. And if you have anything that we didn't cover that you think we should cover in the future, comment below with that. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.